What do we mean by startup? It's not just a smaller, big company. It's not a small restaurant. Someone yesterday do a difference between a restaurant and a startup and said that it's better to build up a restaurant. But I think it's better to build up a startup. But startup is not just a smaller, big company. It's something that developing new, and we hope, or quite different business model. And for sure, developing new or improved technology. So the patent, IP, trademark, innovation, technology is something that is embedded in the meaning of startup. So it's really important for us. What we are, who we are. We are the largest angel group in Italy. We are approximately 120 members and was founded in 2007. Was a non-profit association. And our mission is to invest in high-growth startup. There is some of our results. This one, yes. Okay, we invested in the last 6 years approximately 10 million of euro, and round of investment that with other co-investor about 20 millions of euro, and we do 36 total investment. There is different in different round. There is 21 startup financed and some second round and so on. And this is our value. How we operate? We have an investment focus. Before someone talk about the importance of specialization, it's correct, and venture capital is really important. But we are a group of business angels, so for us it's relevant to not focus on specific target, because it's important for us to diversify the risk. But so it's important for our target sector to invest in a sector where we have at least one expert member in our group. The stage is an early stage financing. Our target company is companies between it's young companies, so it's up to 2 million in revenue with high growth potential. So we ask for high growth. And okay, the investment amount, but the main important things is the level of innovation. We ask for strong proprietary product or process innovation, both in new and traditional sector. And of course, we invest not only in Italy, but and with other venture capital. This is our investment process. I show you very quickly, just to understand how much we go in deep in our investment process. There is a pre-screening phases, then we have a screening process with all our group of business angels. Then there is a screening committee that define which company is presentable to all the angels. Then there is the general assembly, and then start the phase of due diligence and then the investment. To understand, in the last 5 years, 6 years, we received approximately more than 2,000 business plans. But at the end of the day, we closed only the 1% of, or approximately 1% of the investment, so only 29. So it's really important to select, and in all the phases we look for patent or intellectual properties. This is a deal flow by sector. As you can see, it's very spread all over. We receive a business plan from very different sector, but we invest in different industries, mainly where there is a patent, where there is intellectual property. In fact, in 14 of 21 startup financed that we have now in our portfolio, 2/3 is of the total have an IP protection or some kind of IP protection. This is our portfolio, and how I can say before, we check every time over all the process if there is, during the pre-screening of phases, we look if there is new tech or product, during the screening phases if there is an IP, and of course in the due diligence phases, one of the main important phases is the IP due diligence, and we ask every time a second opinion from another legal. Generally, we collaborate with Jacobacci, and we ask every time a second opinion on a patent. Why we ask the second opinion? Because it's not important only to have a patent, but the patent need to be effective. And there is a guiding principle for startup. Patents for us are unavoidable for startup, so it's very, very important. But these are not your patent. They belong to your future acquirer, for sure, and you probably won't enforce them, you probably won't license them, but they can create value. This is the only point that we search. This is what we tell to all the startup, because the startup doesn't have the money to enforce the patent, to license the patent. In many cases, they don't have, never in the life of the startup phases, they have the money to do something with the patent. But the patent can create value. How do patents create value for startup? The first thing is that make technical development tangible. It's something that I can buy. I can understand what is different from the other. Increase leverage with partners. I have the patent, you don't have, so I can leverage my force. Stimulate investment and stimulate the acquisition. Our point of view is that we invest in something in order to go on exit in 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So for us, it's very relevant that the patent could be valuable in the future for the acquisition. So the last slide, so I hope it's very short, my presentation. You need to have a solid strategy. This is not the last. You need to find the right patent before we talk about the different patent and so on. So it's important to find the right patent. It's important to file early enough, so before the competitor, but not too early. Access freedom to operate, and don't stop until you exit. So if it's possible, continue to invent, continue to try to understand if it's possible to upgrade the patent or do other patent around the technical and the technological environment. Last point of attention. There is often a misunderstanding in the startup, but I think generally speaking, in the relationship between the patentability of an invention, what Jacobacci said before, the sandwich, and the infringement of another patent. And what do investors want to hear? That you, like a startup, you have determined what is patentable and have taken steps to protect your rights in the future, first of all. And you have determined whether you infringe or not any patent rights of your main competitor. These issues are completely independent, so it's not related, it is completely independent. And for us, it's relevant, both of these. That's all. Thank you very much.